Through a twist of fate, the less attractive sister ends up marrying her perfect sibling's fiancé, and in the process, she starts to realize she might not be as hideous as everyone made her believe. The story kicks off with a ridiculously massive castle, the kind that screams budget who, Zrinya, while wedding bells ring in the background. A redhead in a bridal gown is seen climbing the stairs, where a tall, dark-haired, green-eyed hunk is waiting at the top. And yep, that was the day Marie married her sister's fiancé. You heard that right? It's less like a fairy tale and more like an episode of Mori. I'll make sense of this whole mess. Let's lay out the full tea. Baron Sheeran had 2 daughters. The eldest, Anastasia, was basically the walking stereotype of perfection. Charming, beautiful, effortlessly social, and of course, blonde. The younger one, Marie, was the exact opposite. And just so we're clear on the narrative tone here, Marie was considered a total disaster. Too tall, constantly messy-haired, obsessed with books. Basically the stuff of Victorian nightmares. The Sheeran family was completely broke, though they kept up appearances like they still had money. But the one who really paid the price was Marie, who got stuck doing all the housework just because she didn't fit their idea of pretty. She cooked for everyone but was only allowed to eat the leftovers. On top of that, she managed the family finances and even did her dad's job. And don't get her started on bath time. The poor girl had to wash herself in the well out back because clearly no one wanted to share a shower with that creature. And if this is starting to sound like a ripoff of Cinderella, well, it's not. Cinderella was blonde, Marie's a redhead. So legally we're good, right? Right. It's Marie's birthday, and to everyone's surprise, the household throws a massive party. Marie is thrilled. She even puts on her nicest dress, you know, the one with the least bleach stains. But her joy doesn't last. She soon realizes the celebration isn't for her at all. Nope, it's just her dad's latest scheme to find a rich husband for Anastasia. Crushed, Marie runs off to cry by the fountain, questioning every life choice and wondering how she ended up being the unfortunate-looking sister. That's when the resident heartthrob shows up. Tall, dark, handsome, asking where the party is. Marie, dead inside, lazily gestures toward the mansion. He thanks her and without missing a beat, calls her maid. Yep, just like that. Was it necessary? Number? But the plot needs drama, so here we are. Before things get more awkward, the heartthrob's actual maid steps in and clarifies that Marie is not staff. She's the Baron's daughter. The guy immediately apologizes, and just like that, Marie is smitten. She instantly recognizes his clothing as traditional garb from the Republic of Ipsandros. He's genuinely surprised that someone so unconventionally charming knows about his homeland. Marie, now fully embracing her main character energy, tells him she loves reading and is obsessed with Ipsandrian culture and tech. That's all it takes. He's officially hooked on her inner beauty. Because let's be honest, the outside still needs some PR help. And just to add the cherry on this weird flirty Sunday, he tells her that even his underwear is made of silk, you know, just in case she's curious. What a gentleman, huh? Mori pretends that incredibly odd comment didn't happen, and instead gushes about her favorite story from his country, a folk tale called The Scrappy Red Cat. Why bring it up? Because the story needs a deep metaphor to justify the plot direction. The guy says he knows it, but Marie tells it anyway. Of course she does. The story she tells is about a scruffy little red street cat, totally not a metaphor for herself, wink wink, who may not be the prettiest feline around, but he grows, learns, and ends up going on a wild journey alongside a traveler. It's your classic underdog or undercat tale. As Marie finishes the story, she remembers how her dad used to say that smart girls are unsettling. Apparently, crashing her confidence wasn't enough. He had to throw in a few mental curveballs too, so she goes quiet, politely apologizes to the Duke, and turns to leave in full dramatic fashion. But the Duke tells her to stop. She turns around, takes a proper look at him, and yeah, he's absolutely stunning. Too bad he's supposed to marry her sister. Cue the emotional waterworks. Thinking she's still upset about the maid mix-up, he apologizes again and tries to lighten the mood by saying her outfit could be misleading. It looks like something rescued from a thrift store clearance bin. Marie, fully embracing her self-deprecating era, replies that it's not the clothes. It's her. She says she looks like a glitch in the genetic matrix. Then she tries to bolt again, but the Duke gently grabs her by the waist, looks her right in the eyes, and drops a bomb. You're beautiful. Mary pushes him away like he just said the sky was green, tells him to enjoy his fairy tale wedding with Anastasia, and runs off into what we'll call her emotional swamp. A month later, a letter arrives. The Duke is formally requesting Anastasia's hand in marriage. Baron Sheeran reacts like he just hit the jackpot. This is it. Our ticket out of budget noodles. Get ready, sweetheart. You're about to rescue this family from financial rock bottom. Marie, heart doing cartwheels in the worst way, is the one who responds to the letter with a polite yes and starts planning the wedding. That's right, her sister's wedding with the guy she liked. Big round of applause for fate. Truly top tier comedy. And so the wedding prep begins. To be honest, Anastasia isn't exactly thrilled about marrying a complete stranger. What if he's one of those team always hot people? She wonders. You know, the kind who insists on cranking up the AC and still shows up to bed like they just ran a marathon. Yikes. Still, trying to be a good sport, Anastasia gives Marie a gift. A suit. Yep, a man's suit. But hey, since Marie is tall, slim, and supposedly lacking in charm, she figured it would fit her just fine. And the truth is, Marie did love her sister, or rather, she used to, past tense, because, well, she's no longer around. Let's just say the royal carriage ride to the wedding didn't go as planned. No need for gory details. Think of it like a fairy tale that took a sudden turn into a soap opera special. And yes, there was even a dramatic slap scene. Marie's mother, overwhelmed by the loss of her favorite daughter, decided to take it out on the one still standing. But surprise twist, the Baron steps in and warns her to chill out, saying she might leave marks. She shrugs and says it doesn't matter, and Marie's already visually challenging, so who would notice? But don't be fooled. This wasn't some heroic dad moment. Nope, the Baron had other ideas. Turns out the engagement gifts already sold, the money long gone, no way to return anything now. So the family comes up with a brilliantly awful idea. Since the Duke is now grieving, maybe they could send Marie over to keep him company for an evening. You know, as a thoughtful gesture of emotional support, and to clear the family's tab. How generous of them. Marie doesn't quite get why she has to pay for something and figures it's just because she was born as a factory reject. Tall, red-haired, and not exactly cover model material. So off they go, headed to the Duke's castle. But surprise, they aren't even allowed near the gates. The Baron starts losing his temper and demands they be let through, claiming he sent a letter to notify them. The Duke's maid appears, calm as if she's seen it all, and tells him that if the letter arrived that very morning, it doesn't count as giving proper notice. The Baron, thinking he's the king of the jungle, tries to throw a few punches at the maid, but this isn't his backyard, and she swiftly knocks him down without breaking a sweat. Marie, going full drama queen, flops to the ground too and apologizes for her father. In that theatrical moment, her veil slips off, revealing her Frankenstein face, and the maid instantly recognizes her. Then the maid rushes off to inform her master about the unexpected visitor. The maid introduces herself as Mio and personally escorts Marie to the Duke. Upon seeing her, the Duke doesn't look pleased. He wasn't thrilled about having the sister of his recently departed fiancé brought to him and orders her to be removed. But just then, Mio re-enters with Marie and the Duke finally pieces it all together. And the story takes an unexpected twist. Marie finally introduces herself to Duke Kyros Granado, and that's when it hits her. He's the handsome chap she met on her birthday. Just when she thought her life couldn't get any more dramatic, the Baron decides to speak up like it's a brilliant plan and says that after the little mishap with the carriage, he figured the sensible thing was to bring his other daughter. Though he adds, without much tact, that yes, she's not exactly a beauty, but with a decent hood, no one would really notice much. That comment didn't amuse the Duke one bit. His face turned so serious you could almost feel the room freeze. To ease the tension, he politely apologizes to Marie, invites her to rest at the castle, and exits with grace, though with a vein practically popping on his forehead. Mio the maid escorts Marie to her room. Meanwhile, the Baron and Duke stick around to bicker about the matter of the gifts and the awkward situation overall. In the room, Mio serves Marie some tea, which she immediately recognizes as a traditional brew from the Republic of Epsandros. She can't resist dropping that cultural tidbit. Mio watches her and thinks that despite all the oddness, Marie is quite endearing. Just then, Duke Kyros walks in. Marie, nervous, apologizes for all the drama and inconvenience. He explains that he told his father there was no need to return the gifts or pay anything, then dashed off before he could change his mind. Marie figures she just has to grin and bear it like a good martyr, but he stops her suddenly and asks if her family treats her badly. Innocently, she replies no, they only give her a hard time because they care. Kyros asks her to drop the formalities and just call him by his name. Then he gets straight to the point. Why was she wearing those dreadful rags to the party? He suspects someone dressed her that way on purpose to make her look like a scarecrow and not steal the spotlight from his sister. Marie just freezes like a blue screen. She's so brainwashed, she's not sure if her life is a tragedy or a family sitcom. She tells him it's not that they treat her badly, it's just that she's plain ugly. Ugly like a maths problem done backwards, like the 7 times table in reverse. Kyros listens and then orders Mio to take her away. Marie is ready to be dragged out of the castle like a sack of potatoes. But no, they're not kicking her out, just sending her for a bath. But it's not the usual well or even a simple shower. No, she's sent to a fancy sauna in the courtyard like a noble spa. Marie sees this dream bath and assumes she's been sent there to clean it as punishment for existing. But just as she reaches for a sponge, another girl appears, introducing herself as Tunika, the bath attendant. Sort of like the posh lady who looks after public loose, handing out paper and charging you candy, but in a deluxe version. Mio explains that she's no ordinary maid, but an expert in aesthetics. Basically, the mission is to give Marie a makeover, to go from walking disaster to presentable at last. Marie, with her servant mindset set still on, thinks she's there to clean the bath, but they patiently explain she's not cleaning the bath, they're cleaning her. She's placed in a tub fit for a spa commercial, and Tunika starts washing her hair like it's a VIP treatment. Surrounded by lovely scents, steam, and pampering, Marie relaxes so much she dozes off. The next scene is a full-on TikTok glow-up. Marie emerges in the hall, hair done, makeup on, dressed in fine clothes, looking brand new and soup stain free. Kuro sees her and thinks two very deep things. Glad he sent her for that bath. Tunika deserves a bonus, a medal, or at least a day off. Marie barely recognizes herself in the mirror. She's not sure if it's her or some deluxe cosplay version of herself. Kuro calls in Liu Liu, an elegant dark-haired woman like him, who strides in with sharp eyes. She gives Marie a once-over from head to toe, drops a well then, and admits she's looking quite the catch. Surprise, Liu Liu turns out to be none other than the Duke's mother, and like any bossy mom, she has to approve the engagement. After giving Marie the X-ray treatment with her eyes, Liu Liu delivers her verdict. Marie isn't ready. She says she lacks attitude, confidence, and that certain je ne sais quoi. If she's going to be the wife of a duke, she needs to be top-notch, proud, fierce, and with a "don't mess with me" glare. So she decides to personally train her to level up. Think of it as a Duchess bootcamp. Mio congratulates Marie all cheerful, but Marie is more lost than a GPS without signal. She asks what on earth is going on, and Mio, like it's the most normal thing in the world, says, "Oh, you're getting married to Kuros." And while everyone is already in full wedding mode, planning cakes and dresses, Marie is still in shock. She tells them no way, she's not marrying anyone, thank you very much. But of course, as we know from the start, that's about to change, and in a big way.